darkened shadows of the government halls lies the truth. A truth waiting for a voice. The KCOR Digital Radio Network proudly presents to you that voice. And now, broadcasting to you at the speed of light, from her mobile command unit, somewhere on the Celestial Highway, the host of Hyperspace, Solaris BlueRaven. Solaris BlueRaven. Wanna take a ride?
Hello everyone, welcome to Hyperspace at KCOR Digital Radio Network, live out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Solaris BlueRaven. Hope everybody's enjoying Fantopia Friday here at KCOR Digital Radio Network with UFO Classified with Erica Lukes, The Paradigm Matrix with Willie Miranda, and Military X-Files with Matt Maloney. You can listen live to the show on your phone calling in at 641-741-0800. You can sign into the chat room at kcorradio.com and participate with the show in chat. Or you can call in with a question on Skype at KCOR Radio, or call in and ask a question at 702-425-9230. And you can text your questions or comments at hashtag KCOR on Twitter. And you can also follow me on Twitter under Solaris BlueRaven if you're so inclined. My most recent book, 1 Million Miles Till Midnight, is available on Amazon.com and Kindle, so pick up your copy today. If you have not already, I have a new one coming out in a few months. A shout out to Dark Matter Digital Network. You can catch the replay of Hyperspace on Thursday evenings at their network. You can also catch the archives for free here at KCOR Digital Radio Network in the archives section. If you'd like to support the station at KCOR, just click the donate button to show your support for the station or host of your choosing. And we certainly support you. We certainly thank you for supporting this incredible network. I'm in between worlds. You can catch the replay for Hyperspace at Paranormal UK Radio Network each Friday night from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. That's Greenwich Mean Time. Don't forget that. And, I just wanted to point out a few things here before we get started. I mentioned this on my other show. For those of you who have listened to my introduction over the years for Raven Star's Witching Hour and also Hyperspace, you'll notice the beautiful music is a signature music that's created specifically for me by Vincent Clare, who has passed on. And I just wanted to acknowledge that from Angels of Liberty. He was a phenomenal musician and writer. He passed away April in 2017. It wasn't publicized, and I lost touch with him, and I found out that he had passed and moved on. So once again, it's he's here in the ethers and consciousness and a time capsule, and we certainly just love him for the music he's put out over the years, and also it's very special for me, this music. So just wanted to make a point to mention that tonight. And on a higher note, my special guest this evening, I have wonderful guests for you all tonight. My special guest this evening is Jerry Ablin and Niish. And let me get you their bios here. Very, very modest bios, I must say. Niish is a creative person living a creative life. She's the co-host of Nox Mente and a working artist that finds expression in many mediums, from time arts and oil painting to fiber arts and wood carving. And that's an underestimate right there. And Jerry Ablin, I hope I have his name right. Jerry is a software engineer, researcher, he's going to correct me, author and YouTube content creator. When he's not creating marketing automation innovations at his day job, he enjoys researching reality, anomalies, aliens, and most portenta. In 2016, he purchased a Nikon P900, which allowed him to better film the moon and thus begin this foray into creating videos. And since then, he's created hundreds of time-lapse videos of the sky during different times of the day. That's pretty cool right there. I like that. I haven't checked those out, Jerry. I'll have to check them out. He's also the creator of the monthly Saturday Night Hive Roundtable Show on YouTube. And Jerry can be found weekly as a guest on the Cruisin' with Steak live radio show, broadcast on Grimerica FM, as well as Nox Mente. And this is a really, really honor and pleasure for me to welcome both Jerry and Niish to the show this evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for having us on.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you.
The table has turned.
Indeed.
It has.
Since the last time I was on your show, right? I had such a great time with both of you. I want you to know that. It was fun.
Thanks. It was really great talking to you, too.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very intimate, actually.
Yeah, it was. But you're both very awesome at what you do. You're awesome interviewers. Let everybody know how to tune into your show while we're here. Nox Mente.
Sure. Well, we broadcast a live show every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock on YouTube, and our channel is linked. You can go to our website, put it that way. Our website, noxmente.com, will take you right to a page with links to our channel and whatnot. So you can listen to it in podcast form or watch it live. And watching it live gives you the benefit of being able to ask questions, because we do a Q&A at the end.
Beautiful. Excellent.
And we have a great chat, a great core group of people.
Mm-hmm.
We also maintain a Discord server, so we can chat with our listeners, and some guests choose to participate. And you know what Discord is, right?
Yes, but you can let everybody else know who might not know.
It's like I don't know, a chat system. It's like IRC if you're old like me. IRC was an old text-based chat system on the internet. This is more graphical, runs on Windows.
Very good. Awesome.
And it's a server with different channels.
Very awesome. Yes.
Right. We have lots of rooms in there, like we have a dream room and on process of dreaming, strange stuff in the sky, a bookstore, a book library room, a cult room, just about everything. And so
That's great.
Getting pretty active.
Oh, I love that. I noticed that both of you are very much into the dream world, the dream time. So let everybody know how you got. First of all, how did Nox Mente formulate? How did you create the show?
Jerry, I'll let you take it.
You let me. It's your career. So Niish and I, we met in another person's live chat. I don't remember. I don't remember if it was Chanter or someone else. We met together. We met each other kind of in chat, a live chat on YouTube, and we talked after that. And she approached me. I don't know when it was, like before the middle of 2017, and she's like, "I want to do this podcast, and I got this idea, and I think but I don't know how to do it." And I was like, "I know how to do it, but I don't have a good idea." So it was like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be 2 years in June. Just crazy.
Great.
Yeah.
You make a good team.
Yes,
it works.
We do.
It works.
Yeah, it does work.
Yeah. We're kind of like an old married couple.
Well, the illusion of space. Well, you are. So you're partners in the illusion of space and time.
Yeah, right? I know, right?
It's kind of scary, right, Jerry? Here's where scary for Niish. I'm just
when we start to secretly hate each other, then it will probably get scary.
Oh, that will never happen.
Oh, God.
Okay. That will never happen whatsoever.
I'm a smart butt.
Yes, very good. Well, I wanted to dive into some questions here. So we did touch a little bit on your formulation of the show itself. But what about the dream time? And so far as dreams go, where did y'all get involved in really getting into decoding dreams? What sparked that?
Well, it's not individually. Before Nox Mente, I've always been interested in dreams. It's always been something I've focused on since as early as I can remember back. And fortunately, my Momo was one of those types of people that promoted the talk of dreams. So she would ask me, what did I dream the night before? And was pretty active in trying to allow me my space as far as what the content was without ascribing any meaning. So I was able to nurture dreams and nurture the idea of being in that state of consciousness as opposed to this state of consciousness. And then that poured over into my life with friends. It was always a subject that I would talk about with people. And then it culminated in years of me really diving into the depth aspect of dreams with certain people in a therapeutic way through oracles like tarot and talking as a coven member because I'm a witch, but not as an illegal, like I had a degree or anything in it. It was just a way to move through psychic content and emotional content and through the waves of our lives.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Do you have anything to add, Jerry?
No, I had no interest in dreams at all until Niish brought this up. But
interesting. Go ahead.
I'm like a natural pattern seer, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it, however way you want to look at it. I see patterns in a lot of things, and it's a good fit because I can see patterns in dreams that other people may not see.
Excellent. So are you both? It sounds like you obviously, Niish, you do a lot of dreaming. What about you, Jerry?
No, I'm like a log.
Yeah. Okay. Just over the it. Very, very interesting right there. And Niish, I wanted to dive into your background in the craft. It's a lineage craft.
Yes. And it's not like Solaris. You know how this goes.
Okay.
It's not that it was so named that way. Do you know what I'm saying? So yes, I got the cunning stuff and the ways from my mother's side through my grandmother and great-grandmother. But my great-grandmother would have never been all right with the title witch. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. What did she call herself?
I think she was just, I don't recall her calling herself anything. It was just all kind of cunning ways. Everything she did had a little enchantment to it too. So it was little things she'd do in the kitchen cooking. It was the garden. It was the all the folkish stuff with almost everything. Now, she was a Victorian. So my great-grandmother, that is, was a Victorian coming out of that period. And it was also, that was part of the charm of the Victorian period. It was so repressed that a lot of that folkish stuff seeped out in strange ways. And we see it in the whole spiritualist movement with, crystals and stuff like that. So when it moved down to my mama, by the time it got there, my mama was just full on, I just came into, she's the hippie generation. Mm-hmm. And having come from these other women, these very independent, strong women, her mother, my grandmother, left her husband because she wanted to dance and she didn't want to be a mother and tied down. And so it moved in that way where my mama was not afraid of the title because it wouldn't put her out of commission in society where it would have my great-grandmother in her time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you see what I'm saying? The language has been very tricky as it's moved through time. You just couldn't claim it.
True.
I think the 1920s changed a lot where you could easily claim it a little bit more in public. But by the 60s, people were starting to just claim it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds me of my grandmother, too, because she was an Eastern Star, but very much into what we call craft today. However, it was never titled that way either. So, yeah, definitely. And I think that back then you really couldn't talk about what you were involved in without a lot of judgment and persecution.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I come from a long line of course, Eastern Stars. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, and her sister Orpha were in the very first wave of the Oddfellows. I have their paperwork, which is so fantastic. Cool. It was like $1 membership a year. So that, they had all that ceremonial stuff behind them for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's such a nice lineage to preserve. It really is.
I agree. It's weird there's such a scare factor, but then I love that about the mystery schools.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, some things don't change, but the more I get involved in mysticism of the craft or any aspect of magic at all, I realize that I have to go within and keep it more cloaked these days. I tried to come out for a while there, and I found that more people weren't appreciating the data, or it was just, it's too sacred sometimes to even expose.
Yes. I actually steer away from it. I often say I'm not the kind of witch you read about. Mm-hmm. And because I don't identify with like the Wicca movement and I don't identify with the New Agers, there are aspects of all of it that I love, absolutely love and honor. But I feel like I'm on my own path. Yep. And but I still am one to claim the title witch because it's powerful, and I think it's a good thing to claim. I'm just not, I'm not one of the whippet name title type witches. And you know me out there. I'm not. Everything is not witchcraft and all these glossy photos, and it's just in everything you do.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's really interesting because to me it seems like, and I like Wicca and I like all these other, I don't want to call them modalities at this point. They are modalities, but it's interesting because it seems like it's been hijacked. I'm seeing that a lot of the witchcraft has been hijacked by whatever it is that's kind of just watering it down and diluting the credibility and the quality of magic itself. And that's one of the reasons I'm not rogue per se, but I am in that same realm where I just do my own thing and stand in my own power and do claim the name as guided. But definitely, it seems to me like those of us who are really the avatars, the real priestesses, are just looking a little sideways at some of the stuff that's going on.
It's definitely losing its luster from this recent, it's been co-opted and it's lost its mystery.
Exactly. And then they're hijacking the symbols, which it waters down the tech. I mean, to me, it's a technology because it's a frequency, but still it's watering everything down. So once again, it's not all witches are created equal in the illusion of it. I know it sounds arrogant, but it's really true. It's what you do. It's where you come from the cosmos, how you incarnate here, how many lives you had on a planet. I go on, and also the aspects of who we come or where we come from at the cellular level. So yeah, it's a very complex system, no doubt. And I know, Jerry, I don't want to ignore you.
I just want to add this. At this point, my coven is all non-incarnate spirit beings, literally, and they're projected into crystalline form, like so crystal skulls and stuff. There's not one that's actually incarnate in flesh. So I'm on that level with it.
Yeah. And I noticed that about your pictures too, and I don't want to go into your personal pictures, but you put some really cool stuff out there. And I know that you were working with around, was it fossils and the origins?
Yes.
That's very interesting because I love fossils too. And I get what you're coming from with the essence and the energetic signature associated and the history behind it.
Yes, I think it's very important. And that's what I'm saying. It's not the kind of witchcraft people are reading in these books that like one comes out a day now, it seems like. Like the add water and stir. The add water and stir insta witch.
Yeah, really. Dip my coffee. But go ahead.
Yeah.
So that's
all
what
these
I
shows,
say.
you mean?
Yeah.
Right, Jer. Yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, just everything, all the memes, everything. I mean, it's nice to see that it's not so feared, I guess, I suppose. But it's just become normalized, and I personally don't like that. I think there should remain some mystery. I think the glamour should stay up. I really do.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's interesting because mainstream hijacks everything insofar as in mainstream media and the illusion of Hollywood. So they'll create all these different types of characters, and people will associate that with what a witch is supposed to be. And, it can be plus or minus on that. But nonetheless, I agree. It just needs to, in my opinion, it just go black. Sometimes we just need to go black. Just like the ancient mystery schools went black. They went under too. There was a reason that they went invisible because of all the crap that's going on today in the illusion of. That's my opinion, but that's what I see.
I'm with you 100% there. And there are a lot of us that have gone black. You and I are good examples.
Yes. I mean, I hate to say it. I'm out there doing radio, but part of me, I mean, most of me is like really wanting to go like seriously invisible. So
deep underground.
Well, right now, I mean, there's never been a better time for those that can, because as we all know, look at what's going on in the world.
Exactly. And I don't want to get involved in that rifting effect, even though I can be. I'm kind of a Valkyrie when it comes to that, but
Yeah, you are.
I'm terrible. I know it. Get me on Twitter and watch me roll.
You're a warrior for sure.
I can't help it. It's just in my blood. It's in my DNA. There's no doubt. Well,
Jerry, you're making me giggle.
Oh, good.
Sorry,
and Jerry, go ahead.
I was just going to add that, being the tinfoil hat wearer that I am, that I see a lot of, for lack of a better term, disinformation in the plots and scripts of these alleged occult type things that are coming out. And I don't know if that's done on purpose to dilute, as you had said, or to confuse, or both, or neither,
I wonder if it's just that they don't have the knowledge. It seems to me like they don't have the lineage or the knowledge. And that could be one possibility, but I think you're right too, that there is a lot of disinformation out there.
It's not only that they don't have a knowledge, it's that they're just repeating typical things. For instance, in the Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix, which is really good. I really like the show. They interchange Satan and Lucifer constantly. And that's not right to do. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing. So what does that do to the public, to the cloud, Well,
once again, it's planting seeds and social engineering to some degree.
Exactly.
So it's a form of mind control. Yeah, misrepresentation of information. That's my opinion, once again. And I want to say real quickly, we have Montana Jordan in the chat room. We have the goddess. So we'll say hi. Yes. We love you very much, Montana. So.
Oh, I love her so much. I've seen her Monday. I can't wait to see.
Wonderful. Well, that's mischief right there.
Let me throw one more thing in here before the break, too, that I think one of the effects of these types of, if you want to call them infiltrations or just ignorance, whichever, is a lack of power in those things over time, which will erode away any magic that was associated with them, or the power of magic associated with those symbols too.
Exactly.
So we could be seeing just the decay of the system at work.
Agreed. Yeah. And what's interesting is that, well, energy is in multidimensional space, as we all know, and frequencies, it's cloaked in the frequency itself, not necessarily the prop and the meaning of and the illusion of symbols and this and that. But it is interesting. And I agree with you, because I think they are hijacking everything, bits of information or old rituals and ceremonies, and watering them down or degrading them to such a level that they don't have any kick to them. So I do see that as well. That's just my impression. It's like a coven that's just been soured or something. You know, I just get the energetic is not what it's supposed to be. So that's why I think going rogue or going into singular consciousness merged with what we call the full light universe, for me anyway, is my navigational tool. Yeah.
Right on.
Yep. There's no doubt. And I'm so glad to have both of you on. We're going to hit the break here in about 3 minutes, plus or minus. But, you know, I know that if anybody wants to reach out to either one of you, now, Niish, you're kind of cloaked, but I have been able to track you on Twitter.
I did recently join Twitter, so we can, it's Niish 13, I think.
And yeah, it's funny because I have you on mine. And of course, I'm thinking with all my posts, she's probably like, I don't want to know this woman. I don't want to know this woman. That's okay. That's okay, really. And then there's you, Jerry. And how can everybody, I know you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, and I'm Jerry Cthulhu everywhere else.
Excellent. I love that. And I didn't realize that was you, by the way, on Twitter, and I apologize. I don't know where I was. I think I accidentally got deleted you or something, so I apologize. I'll put you back in there.
It's okay.
But it's not.
No sorries.
Okay. But anyways, it's that's another scenario altogether. But yeah. So we are going to hit the break here in just a minute. We're going to get back into the dream worlds, because I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. And also your personal experiences, if either one of you. Now, and I know that you're kind of tracking lunar activity, or maybe just the skies, Jerry, to some degree, but have you had significant anomaly experiences, or have you observed anything very unusual with what you've been doing with your monitoring of the moon and the atmosphere at night?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I've had anomalous experiences that weren't related to my photography. And the photography was basically spawned by the lunar wave footage that was circulating around YouTube, which I can get into after the break if you want.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah. I do want your take on that for sure. I was really intrigued by that.
Oh, I am too. I was trying to capture one. That was my whole purpose. So.
Is that right? Very cool. All right, well, we're going to head for a break here in just a second. Everybody, you listen to Hyperspace, the KSOR Digital Radio Network, live out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Solaris, BlueRaven. My incredible guests tonight are Jerry Ablan and Niish. And we'll be right back, so stay tuned, everybody.
You're listening to Hyperspace, hosted by your mistress of the night, Solaris BlueRaven. Solaris BlueRaven.
A vision that tells us that we belong to something that is greater than ourselves, that we are not, that none of us are alone.
Share the truth and be part of the movement by calling the KCOR hotline number at 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230.
Give us a call now.
Worldwide callers use Skype name KCOR Radio. More with Solaris BlueRaven on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. After this.
1 million miles till midnight. A story of timelines, artificial worlds, simulated races, and the galactic imprint, and the destiny of a blue world called Earth. 1 million miles till midnight, written by Solaris BlueRaven, is a journey through the mind's eye which allows the reader to surf a wave of technological and multidimensional intellect, revealing a bridge between conscious design and the truth. A multidimensional bleed-through awakens the world of artificial intelligence to set sail into the frontiers of a vast multiverse, morphing planets and terraforming ascended worlds beyond the linear programs of a fated race. 1 million miles till midnight will awaken, inspire, prepare, and enlighten one to the many multidimensional states of consciousness and worlds we reside in. With every cell and atom, we are this truth and multiverse. 1 Million Miles Till Midnight. Written by Solaris BlueRaven. Available now at Amazon.com. Don't wait. Get your copy today.
It's great. I think it's great. It's great.
The all-new KCOR Digital Radio Network.
Great.
Make a note of it.
It's great.
Live for 3 hours every Saturday night. It's a show that engages the mind, makes you think, and maybe even challenge what you think you know. Hi, I'm Jeremy Scott of Into the Paranormal, where we talk about topics that are anything but mainstream, somewhere between abnormal and paranormal. Bring an open mind and join us for Into the Paranormal, live Saturdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
Toxins are everywhere, from the air we breathe to the food we eat and the water we drink. In a world where 80,000 known toxins and heavy metals threaten our very existence, how are you going to protect yourself and your loved ones? Introducing Pure Body Extra Strength, the world's first colloidal zeolite that helps trap and remove toxins as well as heavy metals from your body that are messing with your memory, clarity, sleep, and focus. Don't just take our word for it or the testimonials from our thousands of happy customers. Check out the hundreds of articles and case studies on the National Institute of Health website proving zeolite's powerful ability to remove toxins. For a limited time, listeners to KCOR will receive 10% off their first order. To get started, go to trypurebody.com and enter promo code RADIO10. Again, that's trypurebody.com. Toxic junk is all around us, but now you can take back control of your health and protect yourself by detoxing with Pure Body Extra Strength. You'll be on your way to sleeping better, thinking more clearly, and feeling more energetic. Go to trypurebody.com right now and get started today.
Hyperspace. Beaming to you the truth at the speed of light. To be on with Solaris, call 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230. Worldwide callers use Skype name KCOR Radio. Magnify the experience by sharing your thoughts worldwide on Twitter using hashtag KCOR. Or converse with other whistleblowers and truth seekers in the live chat at KCORradio.com.
Well, that's your choice.
And now, the voice of hyperspace, your host, Solaris BlueRaven.
Welcome back, everybody, to Hyperspace here at KCOR Digital Radio Network, live out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Solaris BlueRaven. My excellent guests tonight are Jerry Ablin and Niish. And Jerry, we were touching on, before we hit the break there, we're going to talk about the lunar wave, and I'd like your take on the lunar wave.
So for those who don't know, there was a gentleman named Crow777 on YouTube. He filmed the moon and planets and whatnot through a telescope with a digital camera. Had been doing it for a few years. And over one of the 2012 full moons, it might have been it was on the equinox, I think, of 2012. He caught what appears to be basically a vertical refresh of the moon in the sky. So it looks like a line coming down from the top. They come in patterns, and but what it looks like is a refresh. The picture shifts over a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting, and it's hard to describe without looking at it. And people would say, "Oh, it's jet wash, or it's this, or it's that," but they've had it looked at by a lot of people have looked at that footage, and nobody has been able to prove that it's an anomaly. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, it's been filmed by, I think, 11 people total now. And
that's interesting. Over the years? Is it over the years? Okay.
And all on different types of equipment.
Do we have Darth Vader in the background?
Yeah, I was wondering what's going on.
What's that heavy breathing? Niish, is that you?
No, I'm not breathing it.
Weird. All right.
An infiltrator.
That's really wild, man. Oh, Niish, is that what you tracked? I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness. I am rubbing one of my crystal skulls.
Well, you never know. All right. I didn't mean to. I digress.
Your microphone. Okay. Yeah, it was you, Nish.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
Nice try.
All right.
So anyway, I was real interested in trying to validate this or capture it myself and then get it validated and see about. So I bought a camera instead of spending the money on the telescope equipment and a camera. I bought a camera that can do zoom. I think it's 700 times zoom or something. It's a really crazy length of the zoom. And I was able to get really close-up shots of the moon. And I filmed the moon every night for about a year and didn't catch one. But I filmed on 2 nights. What I discovered, though, I discovered trends in it, in this wave thing, and I can kind of predict when they happen. But the problem I found out is they happen in different time zones.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. So that's where I'm at.
It's still very interesting. We can get into so many different levels of the moon and the illusions of the moon itself. But to me, there's definitely something very digitized about it. And of course, technological. So anytime. Go ahead.
Yep. Sorry. No, I was going to say I have a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that it's 250,000 miles away and I could see it clear as day with my camera.
Yeah. The more I look into the whole thing, it just seems like such a construct and it's like a mobile. It reminds me of when kids are in, little babies look at the mobile and they see everything in the illusion of constellations. And it's very interesting and it catches your attention, but at the same time, it's a facade. And that's the way I see it. Like you can peel it away and all of a sudden you see a different space-time configuration. And that's what I look at. Actually, that's what my new book's going to be about. So, it is what it is, but it's really interesting how people can be swayed so easily. You see how the mass collective, we can get into the mind control aspects, but they can be brainwashed so easily by appearance and the illusion of and what people tell them or spoon feed them on regular television. And even our history books, which has been forged into such, I don't know what. I mean, gosh, we can't even go by any of the history books anymore.
And talk about, if you want to talk about mind control, brainwashing, whatever, we're constantly told to look away from the moon, look to Mars.
Yeah, what's up with Mars? Why is everybody so intrigued with Mars?
It's not the moon. It's not the moon.
That's true. That's true.
And I don't think people will live on Mars in anyone's lifetime who's alive now, maybe little kids. So it's one of those things, so it's the carrot at the end of the stick for the future.
Yeah. Well, if you talk to anybody else, they probably have a lot of occupants there already. In the illusion of, in my opinion, probably not from here, but I would say everything is occupied in multidimensional space with some kind of a life form.
I completely agree. But the Mars they're talking about is the one that they're going to fly to on a rocket.
Oh, right. Yeah. Forget that.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And the whole idea.
Go ahead. Sorry. While you two are on this, though, I'm interested in both of your ideas on the lunar-based cultures. So from where we stand now with what the three of us kind of agree on, or at least agree on what we think the moon's
Isn't
not.
it a gray control center or something?
Well, I look at it as a technological device. I look at it as a monitoring station, first of all, and that it was from another space-time configuration that showed up here. That's the way I see it. And so far as life forms go, I think there are plenty of life forms, but also I feel like it's been gutted, which means that we've had a lot of technology, probably they did a lot of demolition. And in my opinion, I think we've had our own black science and black military, whatever you want to call them, space programs, in conjunction with other intelligence agencies globally, having an opportunity to be part of that. So however you want to formulate it, that's my take. I don't know what yours is.
Now the new Space Force is going to have all that under one umbrella, right?
Correct. Well, considering where I've been with this type of, the way they work mind control and signals interface, I can tell you anything is possible. But it seems to me like they've mined everything. That's my point, is that, and you're right, it's not as far as you think it is in the illusion of. Nothing is that far. There is no time in the illusion of. It's a benchmark measure. There's no distance. Distance is an illusion too. Consciousness and motion, we all can prove through magic and our own alchemy of spirit that we can navigate through consciousness and streams of energy. So there is no all this joke information that they're putting out there. And don't get me started. But it's to me it's a game board.
I love it when you get going, though.
Well, thank you.
It's so great.
But I need people look at me. People look at me funny for saying space is fake.
Oh, they'll say, well, we're conspiracy people.
But so what do you think, though, with the cultures that worship the moon? I mean, in context to what we now are viewing the moon as, it changes the whole landscape of, including the craft, which highly values.
I know. This is another thing.
Luna.
Do you really want to sit there? And I know the goddess, I get the goddess energy and the lunar energies and the amplification of energy. But literally, if you have it occupied by, say, a corporation connected to our illusion of a planet, do you really want to sit there and worship it? See, this is what I mean. It changes the whole paradigm. It changes ceremony.
Me too.
It changes everything.
Yes. Absolutely.
And you know where the power lies? Within your cells and your atoms and your consciousness, your multiversal celestial design and your soul's essence of origin or spirit's essence of origin, excuse me, in my opinion, which is not from here to begin with. So we can download any star system with our consciousness. We don't need to work on the moon. That's me, my 2 cents.
And for me, it's also changed the way I navigate everything, because I'm coming from that same perspective, maybe a little slanted from yours, but it's similar enough that I don't worship it. I
appreciate it. I think it's a beautiful little object. It's a monitoring station. I find that the energies can be very magical, but at the same time, I think when you don't have the right intent behind what's going on, and you don't have the right knowledge of what you're dealing with, it changes everything, even with ceremony. If people really understood what they were dealing, it's like worshiping. I don't know. I don't worship anything. Actually, I'm a co-creator. So you're probably talking about when it comes to that. I don't sit there and worship anything. Even with the craft, I was never worshiping deity. I bring in the aspect of deity. I don't worship anything.
Yes, same here. And that's one of the distinctions that separates us from really big swatches of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying, though. So when we start viewing it in the way we're viewing it, and say we want to go and charge things under it, or the Jewish calendar is even is a lunar calendar.
Mm-hmm. Right. But your intent is charging it. So your power is actually, you're just using the modality of that object as a sounding board to charge whatever it is you're trying to charge through your own energy and your own transmission of intent.
Right. It's mind stuff. It's what we're imbuing it to be. And so that separates it from what it may actually be.
That's the whole idea behind mind control, is to control, manipulate brainwave activity to a point where people cannot create or manifest at a higher consciousness level. And that creates the frequency fence design where they're completely encapsulated in a false matrix. And even with witches or mystics or anybody who has power, even a scientist, if they become indoctrinated into a program where they're being mind controlled, they will be shut down to some degree and only given information that is in alignment with the people involved with handling the information. So, that's where I've been. I know what they're trying to do. So when I look and I see what people's thought forms are, try to navigate the highest level of consciousness. This is for anybody listening, and not get too wrapped up in the objects that are floating around in the illusion of space and time. Even the moon.
And always
I
smile.
so agree.
And laugh
by
at
the way,
everything.
you all have a wonderful group in the chat room. You've got quite a team in there coming in and out, I see. So welcome everybody in chat.
Hello, do we? Groupies. I'm not on the computer, so.
Well, I just want to say thank you everybody for showing up in the chat room over there. So I see some people in there.
Yay! That's great.
Those are your followers.
It's BB and Oswald.
I love BB. I love Oswald. I love Montana.
Great beings. You attract the good beings, good folk.
Yes, indeed.
It's always good. Well, we can say the same thing about the sun too in the illusion of. It's you can call it the electric sun.
Yeah, the guy who captured that first lunar wave, Crow, he also now has captured a second sun in infrared. He claims. I don't know about that one, but
interesting. I don't. You can get a lot of anomalies. You should know. You're the camera guy. But what do you think?
I don't know enough about it to say. I know that he is confident it's not a lens flare or a reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And all the videos, I'll try and find the video for you on YouTube and get the link. But it's interesting. It's real interesting.
I've seen Pro 777. He's good. I like his stuff.
He's great. These things appear to be reflections of some sort. There's a further source that reflects onto something, and that's what we see as the reflection.
Right. It's the bouncing back, just like radio signals bounce back. It's really interesting. The atmosphere, I keep talking about this on my shows, and I probably mentioned it to you all, or maybe not. But to me, I've noticed where I live up high elevation-wise, and I always notice that the sky does not look correct. It looks distorted. There's too many, obviously, a lot of chemtrails, which create more of a distortion. But to me, it seems like it's collapsed. We have no atmosphere. It's been formulated.
Yeah.
Manufactured. Literally manufactured. We don't have an atmosphere. That's what I see.
Terraformed.
Correct. But it's so interesting because to me, it's like, in the old days, maybe it's because when you're a kid, you always lie out and you look at the sky and you see how beautiful it looks in the stars, whether it's at nighttime or in the daytime. It looks so vast and big. I don't know if you ever had this experience, but I remember when I was. But that idea, and then when you look up now, it's like it's confined. There's nothing there anymore. It's not vast anymore.
It's oppressive.
Yeah, it's definitely like what I call the black umbrella. No doubt. But I've noticed it more and more. And it's really, they've taken away so much magic through the misuse of technology, not the good use of technology, but the misuse of technology, which I have a problem with.
It could also be an expanding awareness of what the sky is.
That too. Yeah. Well, to me, I've come to a very strong conclusion that we're in the wrong space-time configuration, for one. And that this is not supposed to be here at all. Everything that we're dealing with right now isn't supposed to be happening. I know that sounds strange, but in my opinion, I believe that's correct.
I've heard other people say it, so yeah.
Yeah. Just from my own experience and the technological interface that I've been through, I'm very clear that this is not the correct configuration we're in, and that we need to fix it. And I don't know. And the only way out is, in my opinion, is off planet to fix the configuration. So I know it sounds way out there, but. Just read one of my books, 1 Million Miles.
Yeah, this is basically just a room in the big holodeck, right?
Well, it certainly feels that way to me. I don't know how it feels to you all. But when you live from day to day, I mean, I know we all live the illusion, and they call living the dream. I don't call it living the dream. I'm living the Twilight Zone. But what do you think? I mean, how is life for you all each day? I mean, when you get up and you look around, do you feel like this is normal? Or what is your impression of this world? Both. I'd like to ask both.
Go ahead, Nish.
I think this is what I'm noticing. Yeah, it's very different, especially in the span of my life. I'm noticing things are just way different, and especially the idea of how time is looping and playing out. But not just that. Clearly, we're seeing these major changes all over, and I'm noticing that everyone's noticing something's different, even the most unaware, on the grinding daily stuff, get up, go to work, come back, do this, that, and not really think about life until they can pause and think about life. Those people are starting to notice that things are not something's different. Something feels different. Things look different. Something is going on. So just in that whole idea, there's this kind of awakening, I feel, and I'm noticing it within, as we listen to lots of dreams. And I, like I said earlier, immerse myself in dream talk with lots of people that I'm close to. And since Nox Mente, I get a lot of personal one-on-one stuff as well. So I'm noticing people's dreams are starting to really reflect this. So it's a collective shifting, that's a collective shift happening, but there's actually a visualization of this shift. So some people are seeing it, depending on their lens, their filter, as like end of days or apocalyptic, and some people are seeing it as a great awakening, and I would, of course, put together that those are the same thing. So for me, my day-to-day right now, to get to that question with all that, is the days are strange. Cue the Doors song. I mean, I wake up and it's very interesting. Every day when it's the end of the day, I can't believe how fast the day went. Where did it go? Where is it go? Time is slipping away so fast. And I understand there's this idea of aging, and my grandmother used to say, wait till you get to my age, the years go by like boxcars on a train and all that. There's something else to it. And, I'm not that old. I'm in my 40s. Jesus.
Oh, you're young.
I know.
I'm older than you, illusion of.
But it's like it's not that idea. You know what I'm saying? It's something else, and the fact that everyone's coming to this idea on their own is just more fuel for this idea that there's more going on than we really know.
Exactly. Well, to me, after where I've been, and of course you have to factor in where I've been. Of course, I want to get Jerry's take first, and then I'll talk. But Jerry, and by the way, Jerry, I'm still older than you, so I'm the dinosaur of this group.
Oh, it's not a contest. What was the question again?
Oh, just about the world itself and the illusion of it.
Oh, right. So I've really, in the last couple of years, taken up the attitude that it's a reflective experience. It's an interactive simulation, and it reflects back to you what you put into it. So I just go about being super happy knowing that the bots will work right.
I think that's a good way to look at things. You know what your blessing is? That you haven't been interfaced with the crap that I was put through. I think that's why you have a positive outlook.
Yeah, there's something weird about that, too. I need a diagnosis someday. One of those scans.
Well, it sounds to me like your perspective is positive for the most part. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to let,
I'm not Dr. Doom, but I have been through such a dark world that I've come out a little bit, not necessarily jaded, but I don't know, just seeing it for what it is and realizing that this is such a facade. And even when we try to change the facade, something intercepts that. To a point where it's like, you know what? I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm not happy playing this game, so I'm going to go to another space-time configuration and work there.
Right. Well, I can't do that, so I play along, letting it think I'm not, the wrench in the.
I'll tell you what. Man's version of machines, man's version of software. I'm talking his artificial intelligence. What he calls artificial intelligence is just a program. It's just a software program filled with algorithms, and it's not AI. It's not a symbiotic machine. It's not what the off-world species celestial design work is. And one of these days it's going to hit him in the ass, him, her, it, whatever mankind's created in their undergrounds. And I've seen this more and more. I've come to the realization that they're they're out of their league with the best of their so-called Google world, where they think they're just all that, a bag of chips and a Snickers bar with their technology. It's nothing. It's nothing. And the funny thing is that our brains, our supercomputer brains, which most people don't use any part of it, but literally, it's so powerful. We don't need any of that technology. We are the technology.
Right. The DNA skin suit technology.
Yeah, definitely. And what's so interesting is that we have it within ourselves to do just about anything. And what I found also is that we've been manifesting, in the old days, we would bring it in from the ethers. We'd bring in energy from consciousness and manifest it easily like a holodeck. And of course, now it's almost the opposite. We have things here that are material, but we have to kind of reverse that back to a point where we don't really have to rely on all these heavy, dense objects anymore. We can actually go to a higher overtone. At least that's what I'm seeing. I know that's really out there, but that's what I see. But I have seen more.
Really. I mean, I've heard people talk about how co-creation used to work, like before the whatever timeline wars or whatever the hell went on, right? That humans would go to this collective, call it astral space or whatever, dream state, unity, dream time, whatever, co-create there, and then things would manifest here in the 3D from there, and that's where you would focus all your creativity. And that's what we've lost.
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt about that. What else comes to mind is the end of time and the illusion of time, which of course is benchmark of measure. But 2012 seemed to be a big jump point insofar as a shift where all this stuff started to kind of overlay itself or become more of a distortion or what I call spin-off realities. It seemed like everything started to get more scrambled back then. I don't know if you all noticed that or not.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
2012 happened. It really did.
There was this lady on YouTube that I follow who her story is that there were timeline, incursions, whatever. People mess around with the timeline. And the ripples of the changes that were made were just about done, which would mean the end of whoever did that's control over the timeline.
That makes sense. Go ahead.
This was supposed to be on the equinox on 321.
Interesting.
Which was an interesting thing. And since then, I think things have been different.
Yeah, things have been major, in my opinion. I call it the entanglement. A lot of entanglement going on too, especially when people are changing your destiny or what you have as a divine cosmic blueprint. I can use myself as an example, but when people intercept your life and change the whole direction, it's not by divine law or universal law. It's by someone's personal will or an organization's personal will, and that changes the whole dynamic in the timelines as well. So we're looking at a lot of strange, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of fragmentation too. It's just my own impression, but.
Yeah, and I think another way to look at it, too, is that we're kind of on our own to forge our path forward at this point. Yes. So people don't know how to do that. That's why we're seeing the crazy, the breakdown of everything.
Right. And I think that, I'm a leader. I know you appear to be leaders to me, too. But I don't want these mass hordes of insane people following me. So I'm going to walk away quietly. And no, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I think that we have a celestial tribe, and that will connect in with our spiritual brothers and sisters on that level. But there is a lot of crazy going on, and you have to ask yourself, I always ask, are we immune to the madness? We must be immune to the madness, because it seems like it doesn't affect us the same way.
For me, I can only answer for myself. I take a real objective look at things. I don't pick a side. I'll say, oh, look, the left is crazy this week, the right's crazy. So I think staying on that fence in a way,
neutral, positive,
insulates me from the negative emotional energy that's in all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Plus, I make fun of it too, and that just makes it better.
Well, the thing is, once you mix it up with them, it's just basically a sinkhole. It's never going to get any better. It's like brawling, That's what I've noticed. It's just, you've got to go to the higher overtones and be the spy bird to some degree and oversee it on an analytical and also a spiritual level to some degree. But yeah.
And plus, with the anonymity, you don't know who is real. You can be fighting with a bot.
Yeah,
that's a very big. That's a very key thing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. A lot of programs, a lot of, and even people. Some of them have the synthetic altar, so you're still dealing with a bot there.
This is one of the things that I've been talking about a lot, and it's how I navigate the world these days. Is the things that I know, and I can count on emotional content, and so this is not just being a perceptive person. It is things that are irregular in a way that algorithms are not, that programs are not. And so,
Niish, hold on for a second here. We're going to head for a quick break. Sorry about that. Okay, hard break coming up. So you listen to Hyperspace everybody at KCOR Digital Radio Network, live out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Solaris, BlueRaven. My wonderful guests tonight are Jerry Ablin and Niish. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Stand by.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
You've been listening to Hyperspace, hosted by Solaris BlueRaven, where the truth is beamed to you at the speed of light. Live every Friday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. For more information on the host of Hyperspace, Solaris BlueRaven, please visit her website at nightshadowanomalydetectives.com. Hyperspace. Once thought a theoretical dimensional anomaly, now a tangible cosmic waveform to the truth. Hyperspace.
This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network, broadcasting from a shack just south of Area 51.
Wait, that doesn't exist.
This is the KCOR Digital Radio Network. Now for the news.
That's
good.
Turn your radio up. I love it. All the music I want to hear. This is my station.
Within the darkened shadows of the government halls lies the truth. A truth waiting for a voice. The KCOR Digital Radio Network proudly presents to you that voice. And now, broadcasting to you at the speed of light, from her mobile command unit somewhere on the Celestial Highway, the host of Hyperspace, Solaris BlueRaven. Want to take a ride?
And welcome back, everybody, to Hyperspace here at KCOR Digital Radio Network, live out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Solaris BlueRaven. My awesome guests tonight are Jerry Ablin and Niish. And of course, it's a nice, beautiful new moon tonight, and wonderful to have both of you on board. I'm really happy they're both here.
Well, thanks for having us again. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
You're our hero too,
Oh, well, thank you. I hide my antenna as well. I love you all too. We got along really well. We seem to have a good chemistry, all of us. So
we're probably in the same soul group.
We're in the same pod of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be scary.
The same stasis pods on the back of the moon.
Forever, man. I'm after the control panel myself. So I get a hold of that thing, it's all over for everybody in a good way. Going, what happened? What happened? Wasn't that the moon? Yeah, go ahead.
No. You just reminded me of something. But I was going to say during the break, we were talking about TV shows, and there's a show that I do follow that I really enjoy, and it's really good, and you'd like it too. It's called The Magicians. It's on Sci-Fi. It's in its 4th season.
I do not like that one. Oh man.
Oh, it's really good.
It. So what's it about? Magicians.
It's like a Hogwarts college in America.
Oh, okay.
It's a dark comedy, I would say. Yeah.
Oh, it's a comedy. Okay.
Yeah, it's a comedy drama, sci-fi.
I tried to watch it in the beginning. It was very glossy and Hollywoodish, and
it was.
I guess that's what everyone's saying. It was just like lots of sex, lots of gloss, lots of fantasy, and it just didn't catch me at all.
Yeah,
like say Westworld did.
Yeah, which I didn't like as much as you did.
Right, cool. And I find Westworld way more significant to what the nature of reality. So,
and that's the remake.
It's just
Westworld.
And the Magicians is just entertainment for me.
Well, that's what it is. It's basically to just decompress for a couple hours watching In the Illusion of Television. You know why I couldn't watch movies after my induction was because they were narrating with synthetic telepathy everything I was looking at, to a point where I couldn't stand watching anything.
That would be so annoying.
You have no idea how to be. I mean, you have no idea how this. When your interface with that is like obnoxious as all hell. So I stopped watching movies.
Pencils in my ears,
I stopped watching a lot of things. But when I look at it now, we really can live our own movies. We don't need to sit there and watch and live precariously or make somebody in Hollywood a bunch of money by attending their films. I mean, that's, in my opinion, I think that life can be the movie. You create your own movies through your own activities, and it's just me. But I believe that we can do anything. We're unlimited in consciousness. I don't believe there's a glass ceiling. So I don't like the idea of diverting my power or my psychic energy to a screen anyway, unless it's a really good show,
I find a lot of shows, I try to keep up. This is a common thing for me. It's becoming more common for some reason that I want to watch them. I end up falling asleep. So I don't know if it's the flicker rate or whatever.
Or the transmission.
I don't know what it is. Something where it just puts me out. And it's becoming more common with like television type stuff for whatever reasons.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably the frequency.
I have that happen too. Like you watch TV for a few minutes and if something repetitive comes on. Like I watch a lot of lathe work on woodworking on YouTube. It's things spinning around. It'll put me out. I'll just fall asleep.
That's interesting. They have, I will digress for a second here in a different direction, but they have this really cool thing on YouTube where you can go and listen to a submarine for like 10 hours so you can sleep. And I like the sounds, really strange, but I like the sound of submarines. And you could listen to this. Sleep.
No,
you have to realize I've been through a lot of warfare programs. What's that?
The sonar pinging kind of.
It's just, and then you see the water, and you actually, it makes it look like you're actually on the sub. But anyways, it's kind of cool. And, for those of you who can't sleep, you can check things out like that. I know people like to listen to the ocean.
I fall asleep to a YouTube video, like some kind of, a specific frequency video every night.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a binaural beat or something like that, but like a 528 hertz or a 432 hertz or whatever, however I'm feeling that day.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have any dreams. You're just completely just out.
Dreams?
Yeah,
no,
when
I
you
dream
go to
a
sleep.
lot.
Oh,
I dream a lot.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm not like, broken. I just don't, I've never had a lucid dream. I've never had an out-of-body experience.
That you can recall.
That I can recall.
This is the key.
I've been
told that I was in all these programs, so that I got that going for me.
Interesting. So who told you were in these programs?
A person that I met. I'll tell you off.
I'm being nosy, but you can tell me.
I'll tell you. I just don't want to.
You don't have to mention it unless you want to.
I'll tell you off air, honest. I just don't want to mention this person's name on
sure.
there. But apparently, he and other people that we all kind of found ourselves in 2015 together. It was just weird. And then hey, you were in this program, but you got your mind wiped. I'm like, okay.
Well, did you go through a regression?
No.
Okay, so I wouldn't believe it if they tell you. Personally, this is just me. Unless you actually have full recall and go through a serious regression, just because they're friends of yours and they might be really connected, I don't buy that. That's just me. If somebody tells me, people have come to me before and they say, you were in my dream. I wasn't in their dream. Somebody projected them in there or whatever. I'm not traveling. I'm not visiting. So, you know what I mean? I'm sorry.
That's sad. You were in my dream once.
No, it just wasn't me. It was an imposter. That's what they say. But
so I take it with a grain of salt. Could be true, could be not. It doesn't matter. It adds to my narrative. That's all.
Well, I think that obviously you're very multidimensional and very advanced on a lot of different levels. So however that plays out in the illusion of, and you can also piece it together insofar as your whole patterning in your life. I mean, what gifts do you have? And if you have recall of some odd things that have happened along the way. I mean, I'm not going to go into details, but
I'm kind of at this point where I don't really worry about that because I figure if I believe that I had it, it's mine. I can access it whenever I want. So I'm more going that way with it, so that I know I have these capabilities. They're just sharded to simultaneous alter realities wherever they clone those things to. Whatever the hell is going on, right?
Jerry, you just said sharded.
Not shard.
It sounded like shard. Seriously. Sorry. I could have done that privately.
She would have texted you, but she didn't. No, it's okay.
Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you don't.
No, it makes sense. I would say you have a toolbox. The bottom line is, if you feel like accessing it, that's up to you. Yes, with everybody else here on this world and the illusion of it. I mean, we all have gifts. I think a lot of them are just shut down or switched off, and half the time, depending on the frequency band they're riding on, the frequency wave, and their state of consciousness, it's depending on what degree they're going to evolve or activate their own level.
Exactly. So, I'm ascending right now.
I think we all do on different frequency bands. But for me, I feel like I've reached I reached the bottom of the pit of hell, and I'm coming out of it. So.
Oh, you're out.
Yeah, I'm out. But man, it was ugly. Definitely.
Now you're going to bump your head on the top.
No, there's a glass ceiling. It's been shattered.
Yes.
That's for darn sure. Yeah, we digressed. We were talking about those crazy movies. But the one series I used to like, and I will say, is Stargate. I used to love the original Stargate series. I used to like that.
Right, and like there's stories out there that stuff's true. And I do know the Air Force was involved in the creation of that show.
Well, the bottom line is data mine. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. MBB on YouTube has been getting people send him in videos. He's got a big site, and there are videos coming in from different people that look exactly like that Stargate that are in the sky, and people are they're trying to debunk it. It's interesting, and it's worth pointing out. Even if you're just going to go there to try and debunk it, it's very intriguing. I just want to add that to this conversation because it's something that is at play.
Right.
So yeah, Stargate, it's like total soft disclosure.
Well, I like Stargates, but we are Stargates too. I mean, our beings, our life forms, our star bodies are Stargates. Right. When configured properly, we become the Stargate. Most people shouldn't. I mean, I figure you know that too.
I do. Yeah. I believe there also are stone ones or there's other portal areas that are DNA activated. So you have to have a certain type of DNA to get into them.
Well, frequency. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Celestial heritage or essence of origin. Yeah, I agree with that too. And what about you, Niish? Have you seen any portal activation? I mean, have you actually witnessed anything unusual around where you live?
Well, yeah, of course. I live over here kind of by Isetti Ranch, by the way. So
oh, wow. That's powerful.
And I can say that I have definitely seen wild stuff in the skies, recorded wild stuff, and experienced wild stuff here. But then again, my whole life I've been open because I come from people that didn't shut that down in me and that didn't give me there was no indoctrination with any kind of religious stuff, like with the Abrahamic religions and all that, to filter through an idea of demons and angels and what's real and what's not real. So I'm open. My mind's always open. And there is definitely a lot of stuff going on in the sky, especially at night. And I'm usually with people, so there are witnesses. My friend Melanie out here, we've seen stuff. So I don't know what it is. I'm not one of those people that has conviction in what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing anomalous stuff that seems to be self-powered. That are not satellites. That are not airplanes as I know them. And I find it interesting that it is all happening in this area where all the ECETI stuff, all the people that go to James's ranch. There's a Druid sanctuary right down the road that I go to once in a while, and it's really phenomenal stuff going on up there.
Yeah, I think actually some of the things that have been filmed in infrared, I believe, could actually be organisms or life forms that live in a different layer of the atmosphere, in a different frequency.
Yep, highly possible. It's like a fish tank or an ocean.
Yeah, like an ocean. Exactly like an ocean.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever saw this, but I have an anomaly that went through when I was doing a video interview, and you can see it. It's like a snake that goes over my head. And it looks like, some people call them, I don't know, rods, but this thing is, I'll send you the video. It's going to blow your mind.
I've seen rods taped before. They're pretty interesting.
This was, you could say, well, it was light. It was this now. It was like, what is this thing? So it is interesting that we have all kinds of anomalies out there. And have you been to the ECETI Ranch, Niish?
I've driven by, so we drove by. Have you?
No, I haven't.
He's got all kinds of interesting, I don't even know what to say. There's interesting symbols and warnings. I don't even know what exactly, but there's a couple cameras out there. So we drove by the gate and everything. I'm sure if I call, it seems like I hear that James, if you call him or contact him, he'll, he lets you come.
They're open. Snippy was just there.
Right. So I think I could. I just never have. I'm always up there because I love the Druid. The White Mountain or Trout Lake Abbey has the most amazing Druid setup. They've brought in big, gigantic stones. They're just huge. So, and that has one of my attention. And I still get the SETI experience because I'm not even a mile down the road.
Oh, yeah. Very interesting.
So I feel so it's the same place. It's the same area, just without James telling me what I'm seeing. Not that I wouldn't go. I would like to go. I just haven't made the effort.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I think it's there. It's right before you. But yeah, it is interesting. I don't know. I've never been there. I kind of thought it'd be kind of interesting to check out, but I don't want people programming me. And I've been through enough, and I don't want the commands. I don't want people creating these. I don't think it's a cult. I don't know if it's a cult. I have no idea. I've never been there. But
Solaris, that's exactly what I was dancing around.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know what? I don't need anybody narrating or animating my life any more than it's been. Sorry.
Exactly.
I'll just absorb the cosmos the way I want to. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, that's what's great about just doing the Druid rituals, going on the high holidays and being out in that same space and having those same experiences without being programmed.
Yeah, I like it. I heard they were working on telepathy or something last I checked, but like I said, have you been there, Jerry? Where you go?
Sorry, it was muted.
That's okay.
Been where?
Have you been over to the city?
No.
Any interest?
Yes and no.
Hmm?
I want to know what I'm dealing with before I meet it.
Yeah.
Usually.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, it seems like just a milder version of Skinwalker Ranch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be. Have you been to Skinwalker, either one of you?
No.
Okay.
I haven't been anywhere to.
I always wanted to go to Skinwalker. I'd like to check that out a long time ago.
Yeah, I would check it out too.
That's definitely on my list.
I don't know if you can just walk in there now, or
do
you know what the story is with that? Do you have to get somebody to?
Yeah, you need permission. It's privately owned.
Yeah, it switched owners, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Places. Well, my whole life was a Skinwalker episode anyway, so I don't know. After you come out where I've been,
you.
it's kind of like nothing is it's like, whatever, seriously. But that's just me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with me is I've had so many high strangeness episodes starting at the very earliest point that the stuff people are talking about, I don't know what it would take to shock me at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
So
yep.
It's interesting, but I'm open and certainly willing. I just don't want to find myself in a program frequency.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, to me, it's all exotic experimentation. It's obviously a place where they've done a lot of exotic exploration with technologies that are black. I can't say 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's what the case is. And even if those places are highly paranormal or supernatural, there's always a hijacking of that supernatural energy. So through these technological warfare programs and things.
So they're not, the way I've always thought of them is like holes in the lower fourth dimension, whatever the hell that is. It's a merging of the two, like a permanent portal.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff can get out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. In and out. Yep. It's very interesting. And then both of you have obviously... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one of the thoughts I had recently about Skinwalker, after I saw the movie that had come out, the Corbell movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. But my thinking on it was that seems, since it's an ancient native indigenous species type of area, perhaps it was some kind of healing, had a healing modality to it.
Mm-hmm.
That it was a reflecting pool, or, it's Plato's cave. It's where you can go in and contemplate how bad you are.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. The one thing I have noticed when I was talking about the hijacking of power spots across the globe, and even a place like Skinwalker, where they hijack energy signatures and do experimentation, I believe that a lot of the time they're interacting with a certain type of a life form that doesn't want to be manipulated, and that creates a lot of problems. Just like us. When you try to contain us or imprison us through some kind of a frequency fence or state of mind control, it doesn't work well. It really doesn't.
They're in my view, they're energetic forces that when they come to the 3D, they take form. Mm-hmm. So it's, an animal consciousness, if you will, or that, I can't really say what kind of consciousness it is, but it's some kind of consciousness that's inhabiting a beastie.
Yeah, I'd like to go check it out. That's one place I want to check out because I'm really attuned to the technology. So if it's technological, I can bust it in 2 seconds or less. I can bust the whole program. I know. I want to get
Bigelow on the phone. We'll get it going.
Oh, I think he sold it. But, like I said, I put these people to shame, and I'm not arrogant, but I was like, I wish we could get a team of people that knows what's going on just to go in there instead of playing these stupid little, Scooby-Doo games. I'm so tired of Scooby-Doo on crack, I call it, because a lot of people just go in there and make a mess of everything and don't really know what they're doing. And if they haven't had real experience, what are they going to do? Just be an observer?
Well, yeah, but they're looking at it from a materialistic science point of view, for the most part, and looking for evidence and something that they can take back to someone that will get them more money to investigate further so they can maybe make something profitable out of it. It's not an intellectual exploration of any kind.
No, it's not. But they made a lot of money off of my experimentation. What happened to me? They made a lot of money, and DARPA made a lot of money. I know that. Big time with synthetic telepathy programs. So once again, they keep it hush hush and they try to discredit it, but eventually they run it, they turn it black, and they just go full speed ahead. It's very interesting. Bastards. Well, it's just frustrating for me. I don't care if they want to do it to their own personnel, but if they don't, they should compensate the people they pull in. Bottom line. That's
Indeed.
my take. That's just the way I look at it. But we're going to have a break in a minute here in the illusion of space and time. But, somebody told me a long time ago I had immunity to skinwalkers, and I don't know. That was when I was really plugged into the technology. So I was probably spooking the hell out of people. But, who knows?
Why?
I'm not sure. I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know either.
He's told me, I think it has a lot to do with just my energetic signature and some of the technology I was interfaced with. But I think we were touching on that too.
You got that crazy electromagnetic fields like 100 centimeters out from you, right?
I did. I don't have those anymore.
Oh,
back in 2004. They were pretty intense. What's around now? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the heck is going on.
I heard an interesting gentleman speaking about the your aura and how it's a toroid, not a toroid, but it's more of what is the spiral, the golden mean, the spiral. That's what it's called, right? The phi spiral. That your aura is a vortex in a phi spiral sequence around you, and it's through that field that you create reality.
Who was this? Which person was this? Do you know?
It was Tim Refat.
Oh, you're talking about the golden ratio. I don't know. I don't see the aura like that at all, but who knows? Who knows?
He was talking about how the Fibonacci sequence was embedded into our auras because we're human, and it's embedded in that spiral around you. It doesn't make up your entire aura, but that's the container of it.
Interesting. Well,
yeah.
Oh, who knows? It doesn't resonate with me, but that doesn't mean maybe I'm just a different configuration. But I do like that spiral, though, and it is in everything here in this world and the illusion of.
It is. It's our person. He says it's a bisexual. It's the pattern for bisexual life forms, where you have two sexes, male and female. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I always look at the Merkaba when you start talking about our auras and our light body, because to me that's a signature I'm very, very familiar with as far as the way my light body was operating before my induction. And we are heading for another break as we're flying through this show. I swear. Everybody listen to Hyperspace, the KCOR Digital Radio Network, live out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Solaris BlueRaven, and my incredible guests tonight, Jerry, Ablen, and Niish. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
You're listening to Hyperspace, hosted by your mistress of the night, Solaris BlueRaven. Solaris BlueRaven.
A vision that tells us that we belong to something that is greater than ourselves, that we are not, that none of us are alone.
Share the truth and be part of the movement by calling the KCOR hotline number at 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230.
Give us a call now.
Worldwide callers use Skype name KCOR Radio. More with Solaris BlueRaven on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. After this.
Here's what happened on the last episode of Three Guys, No Ties.
And then that Peele movie, Us.
Key and Peele.
Is that the scary movie, right?
Talking about, right?
Yeah. He's the one who directed it.
Right.
Jordan Peele, yeah.
Didn't Thomas do the effects on that?
I saw the reviews. Did you see the reviews on that one, on Us? They said it was the scariest movie ever made. It will scare the pants off.
The acting was that bad?
No.
Yeah, I've heard that about a couple movies, and I just went, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm anxious to see it. I want to just see it just to be scared.
And check my depends.
And see whether his pants fly right off him. That sounds bad. Scare the pants off me. Well, hell, I'm in for that.
Three Guys, No Ties. Wednesday nights, 7 to 9 Pacific on the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
That's good.
Turn your radio up. All the music I want to hear.
This is my station.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
All systems go!
Tuesday's midday just got a bit more interesting on the KCOR Digital Radio Network as Cheryl Costa returns to the celestial airwaves with cosmic questions.
I know. I'm pretty excited about it.
Your 1 hour dose of informative as well as entertaining talk radio, live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're opening the doors of the unknown just for you.
Oh, that's crazy.
Cosmic Questions, hosted by Cheryl Costa, challenges you to expand your reality of the universe. Join Cheryl Costa as she brings her unique sense of humor and charm to the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
It's just good, clean fun.
Every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. cosmic questions. Finally, the doors of the unknown are opening. Will you be there?
I'm telling you, she is a real ball buster.
We interrupt this program to annoy you and make things generally irritating.
At the end of the day, we turn the lights down in the KCOR studio.
Oh, sweet.
And crank up the hottest club songs from around the world.
This is the future.
The Grind, mixed by Tina Marie, your Vegas vixen of the high desert.
What about the body? What kind of body?
Good body, nice body.
Every night from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Pacific. The best 3 hours of commercial-free music.
New music first.
It's time to stand up and dance your ass off. The Grind, nightly and exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
Come on, it's kind of hot.
Hyperspace. Beaming to you the truth at the speed of light. To be on with Solaris, call 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230. Worldwide callers use Skype name KCOR Radio. Magnify the experience by sharing your thoughts worldwide on Twitter using hashtag KCOR. Or converse with other whistleblowers and truth seekers in the live chat at KCORradio.com.
Well, that's your choice.
And now, the voice of hyperspace, your host, Solaris BlueRaven.
Welcome back, everybody, to the last half hour of Hyperspace here at KCOR Digital Radio Network, live out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Solaris BlueRaven. My incredible guests tonight are Jerry Ablin and Niish, and I can't believe we're soaring through the cosmos here tonight very quickly through the show.
Let's do an extra hour.
Oh, I'm telling you, we can. Yeah. It's awesome. I love having this conversation. It's very casual, and it's very nice to just kind of go into all different directions and communicate a lot of different things.
Yeah, totally. Why not?
Why not? It's right.
Plant those seeds.
That's right. I don't know where we were discussing. We kind of, veered off into another orbit someplace in the space-time. But
we have been meandering.
I'll reel you back in. Let's go someplace else here. We were talking a little bit about psychic attacks and energetics during the break there, and I thought maybe it'd be interesting to kind of touch on that a little bit. And maybe you, Niish, with your background as well, but can you elaborate on your path, or what about the ethics behind the path, or what the path has taught you insofar as when to do psychic warfare and when not to, or even to get involved in it at all?
Well, I think that I think it's important to always have your bubble. We all have our spheres that we're in my opinion, and I think it's important to. And in psychology, it's known as boundaries, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to have a real sense of self. And of course, in magic, we see it by creating the circle. And I mean, we can just overlap this into a lot of different areas of life. So for me, I am definitely active in creating a grid around myself because I tend to attract a lot of people that I feel like they want to stick a straw in and suck me dry. And it's been this way my whole life. So I don't know. I have been under psychic attack in the past, and as usual, usually psychic attack comes from unexpected places, and say like people close into you that may be activated by other forces. I don't know, but it tends to a lot of times be people close in that have access to you,
right?
And they do not. A lot of times they don't even understand that that's what's going on, which is why I say they may be activated. And I know you know what I mean, Solaris.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I find it's a healthy practice to have be in touch with the things you need to be in touch with. So I personally like to utilize every tool I have, which is visualize all your senses. And then I like to implore nature around me, in my cottage here, the roots under me, the tree branches above me, the air that swirls around here like a toroidal, the crystal grids. I'm very into the activation of crystalline energy because it is programmable. These things are important, and I don't feel that that's being. I think it's better to just. I think it's healthy, and I think that it's looking at your system, your sphere, as a lymph node, right, where you're filtering out. Are destroying really. White blood cells are destroying all the bad stuff, the bacterial, the viral overgrowth, all this, the bacterial overgrowth, I'm talking psychically.
Right.
So, yeah, I think this is an important practice. And as we were talking about when we were in commercial, this is why I don't like to do live on video stuff, because it's easier for people to actually tap into your energetics. It can still be done. It can still be done, and a lot of times, and now, of course, as we know, with all the tech that's coming out, which you've known about a long time, that's not even. It's a moot point. But for people doing it unconsciously, or that may be activated in a way, I hate to use that word, but it seems to be the easiest word to use. It's real, and it really happens, and I can sense it and I can feel it. And so I remain guarded in those ways.
Yeah, you definitely have to, especially if you're doing radio or anything where you're around high profile, in the sense that you're dealing with a lot of energies. That's for sure. You have to keep your grids up, your shields up. Yeah, definitely. One thing I have noticed that we can also make, as bad as the technological stuff can be at times when it becomes weaponized, we can also use that for our defense system as well. So those are other things that we can do with computers that can actually be shielding as well. But yeah, I think it's all about mastering consciousness. I really do. And whether it's positive or negative, we still have to learn how to navigate, and also, like you say, create the boundaries, and also keep those shields up so that we don't take on more than we have to, or absorb anything that we don't need to participate with. And I have seen it where we've, I've interacted with people over the years where they've been entity controlled, where it's really not them, but it's the entity through them that's actually after me. And that has gone on. And maybe it's my frequency that's triggered that. I don't know. But the bottom line, that does happen. At least it's happened with me.
Well, and that's what I'm talking about when I say activated.
Yeah.
So it's the entity control. That's just another way to look at that same function.
Yep, absolutely. And worst case scenario is you just, I don't know about you, but with my martial arts background, that's been a blessing, because it's also mastering Qi, universal life force energy, and really staying in your power with your pillar. And that tends to also be of assistance when you're deflecting attacks.
Yeah,
so
I
any
have
martial arts at all.
Background too, and that that all comes into a structural integrity, right? And then the internal aspect of martial arts, which is the far more important than the external stuff, in my opinion. The internal stuff, because we're projecting it out. It's coming from this the core, the kernel, the nucleus. So, but you walk around and you see this is why, say, hardcore Christians are talking about demonic possession so much. And I'm only using that as an example because I think a lot of people can understand that image, right? And so it's people that are not inhabiting their sphere. They're not cleaning. They're not holding space. They're not holding agency within it, and therefore they're being activated or taken over or possessed. And that's why everything that we see in the public arena is suspect to me when we have weird stuff happening that just does not seem right. A weird shooter, a weird, all this strange stuff that's going on. This to me is an activated, pardon me. This is all in the conversation for possessions or activations or a takeover energetically.
Right. Yeah, they take over the host. And, I've touched on the remote brain hacking, which is very popular these days with signal interface. It seems to be the weapon of choice. And that's the one that gets by everything very discreetly. And of course, in my opinion, has a lot to do with the psychotic, quote unquote, the illusion of psychotic shooters, because most of them hear something, hear a communication. And yes, we have no natural telepathy, and we've gotten into that, with the synthetic telepathy. But through my own assessments and experience, I can tell you that's more than likely the case for a lot of those shooters. So that's something. It is a weapon of choice, and it is sold on the black market. It is being deployed everywhere. And hold on to your brooms for that one. So
I totally agree.
And let me guess, it can be controlled through 5G.
Well, I'm pretty sure it can be. I'm sure that's not the frequency band they're running with, but who knows? Because they were using it way before that. So 5G to me is nothing after where I've been.
Yeah,
but 5G is also like, if you think of it as a web or a net, where it's just easier for these frequencies to get around.
Right.
And
No, I was going to say, and I don't mean to cut you off. I was going to say it's a scrambler too. The 5G, yes. From what I've noticed with my my technology, it's become a scrambler. So it can mask itself and cloak things. Yeah.
Did you see the news this week that I think it was Brussels halted the installation of 5G issues?
Yeah, I saw that. That's great news, huh?
Yeah.
That's really good. But
out here in Portland, Oregon's not, of all places, Portland, Oregon's actually saying we need to check out and see if this is actually healthy, which made me have some love for the city again, because sometimes I lose love for Portland. Oh,
yeah, people need to wake up.
Having watched it change so much. Well, it is good that some people are saying we need to look at this on whatever level they're saying, let's halt and look at it. I don't care where they're coming from. If it's just on the physical plane, like, is this healthy for our physical bodies, all the way up to galactic warfare, wherever you are with it. I think it is something that is talking about this awakening that we were talking about earlier, where all the chickens in the hen house are clucking, saying something's going on, Right. So whatever it is, if it's leading to a greater consciousness towards control grids, that's a good thing.
I agree. And I don't want to do away with everything that's technological. I think that's the thing. People tend to go one way or the other. They don't go in between the middle. Just stay in the middle ground. We can use these things. We just have to fine tune them and make them productive and not destructive. And I think that's the whole thing behind it, is with technology or anything else.
Yeah. Good luck.
Well, we don't have to go to them, right?
Good luck to them trying to get me with their mind control rays when I'm downloaded in the computer.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, one thing I'm noticing is that is very noticeable to me is Generation X, which is my generation. It seems to be under attack, and it's in a big way. More people in Generation X are dying in their 40s and 50s, because that's where Generation X is, and then the boomers have made it up into their 60s and 70s, and the generation after us doesn't have the millennials, the 30-year-olds don't have, they're like in between. Generation X literally has an X on it as a target.
We do.
Trying to get rid of it. Look at all the deaths that are happening, young deaths of the X generation. I just want to throw that out there because it's real and it's happening.
It's very important that you mentioned that. It's funny because in my book, Either Remote Black Operations and Ares Band 52, I touch on specific star groups that came in, and that was one of Generation X was a huge, huge wave of star beings, off-worlders incarnate. So once again, I think it has something to do with us.
First wave.
Yeah,
right?
We were. And the ones that are here now are more like clone templates of interface. They're not really, I'm not trying to say they're not worth anything. I'm just saying that the real legitimate ones, the real hardcore starseeds were that wave. Definitely. There's no doubt about it.
Yes. That's what I've been hearing that. Well, it's ironically the generation right now that's up, like the 20-year-olds, that's the Z generation, which I find interesting. That, I just do. You ruminating on that magically. And I know, it's nothing against anyone in particular. It's just looking at the semantics of the language around these things.
Mm-hmm.
But we're under attack. Generation X is under attack. We're the ones in the way, and so it serves a higher purpose to try and get us out of the way.
But I have to tell you, when we go, they're screwed. When all of us are gone, that's it. The elders have left. Just a heads up. You may not believe that. And that's okay, but I'm telling you, that's the case.
I firmly believe that. I think we're all here.
Mm-hmm.
We're all here to watch. We're here for whatever's going to happen. Something's going to happen because we're all here.
Right. Well,
it's got to mean something.
We travel in groups, and that means like little celestial beings that come through groups in the star systems. And we're here, and we're actually very awake in consciousness to such a degree we can't be brainwashed. And even those of us who've been through programs like me, we still can't be broken. So, hey, you know what? They know they can't win on that level, but I think they're wanting to go after the flock, and that's, I think they're in for a big surprise.
Yeah, overpower the whatever 10 million people that are really here with the rest of the herd.
And they haven't factored in the multidimensional space. They haven't factored in different species, different life forms, all kinds of things, whether it's ascended machine technologies that don't even have a connection to their experimentation. I mean, there's so many things to factor in that they haven't even looked at. It's a very complex multiverse.
Not to mention all the compartmentalization has made them not know what the hell is actually out there.
Right. And that's the biggest problem. And that's one of the reasons I like where I've been, because I've been on the inside, but I'm an outsider, but I have the best from both worlds.
Yeah.
I wasn't compartmentalized. I decoded the technology, so I didn't have to be part of anything. So that, I like that part. I don't like the idea that they do that to anybody who's working on projects where they're compartmentalized, whether it's civilians or whether it's just, somebody in a defense department somewhere. Right. They're only going to get a piece of the puzzle, and that's not going to give them very much. You think about it. But,
no, it's true.
Yeah, I'll tell you. We have about 10 minutes plus or minus the illusion of here, but I want to make sure everybody once again knows how to listen to your shows. And also, I know that you both are so talented on so many different levels. Niish, I know you're a poet and a singer and an artist. Let everybody know how to listen to your music.
I've been slowly putting stuff out on my YouTube channel, which is linked into my Twitter channel, which is linked into the show host on the YouTube channel for Nox Mente. So, because if you type in Niish on YouTube, there's a bunch of people by that name. And so, I don't know what you're going to get. Also, the time art stuff, which is what I call it, is deeply encoded information that I'm putting out there. So I'm, where it's also beats and all that, and and there's lots of spoken word poetry and all that. But I'm also at this point where I'm releasing deep information through these videos, and as a way to weave around the algorithms. So that's, I think, one of the things I want to say about that particular art form. The paintings I've always just been straightforward with. I haven't shown, I think it's been a couple years since I exhibited anything, but fiber arts and all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, I have a long history of doing a lot of stuff. I just don't like bios, as I told you. And I'm not invested. I'm not at all invested in any of the titles I've had in this life, which there have been a few, and I just could care less. So I'm into what I'm doing right now, which is Nox Mente and the time arts pieces. So they can find me via the Nox Mente YouTube channel.
Excellent. And I will say your music is very unique. Very cool. I love it.
I put a link to your YouTube channel into chat for everyone.
Thank you, Jerry. You're so good. That's why I love my Jer.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have noticed that you do get around the algorithms, because the one thing about your music is it's very different. It's very, very different. Yeah, I like that.
Well, it's intentional. There's a lot of what needs to be said in it. And so that's where I'm coming, where I won't talk openly like on these on shows at all about stuff. So, that's my breadcrumb for people. I haven't said this openly outside of the people on the inside circles. So there's that information.
Yep. Cloaked in music, cloaked in poetry. Yep. That's the way it used to work in the old days. Yep.
I just play dumb.
I'm old school like that.
My stuff gets out by itself.
And you, what are you working on, Jerry? How can everybody reach out to you?
Through all the Nox Mente stuff, or I'm in our Discord chat. You can come and talk to me there. Right now, I'm actually focusing on my wood turning. I'm learning how to turn wood, make bowls. Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably get a year out of this and then move on to something else. Wow, so that's kind of a nice hobby, huh? Yeah, it's really fun.
Jerry goes in 100%. He should see his work shed.
That's great.
Jerry does not mess around. He gets.
I'm like an OCD hobbyist.
That's so funny. Well, I like pottery. You should get into pottery then.
I already did that. I did pottery. I did glass. I did painting. I'm done with that. I'm in wood now as my media.
Well, good for you.
Which is amazing. His wood stuff's amazing.
Wow, I'll have to check it out. So we can watch this on YouTube?
Yeah, I've got two videos up there. I'm actually starting a new channel called JC Woodcraft.
Nice.
Which is going to house all my wood turning videos.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Check that out. Are you going to sell anything or no?
I'll probably just give it away. I'm not sure. I'm not happy selling stuff ever. So, nice. I don't know. I may. I don't have an answer to that. So, but I'll definitely make you something and send it.
Yeah, send it. I would love to have something.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a donation. Well, I want you back on the show, both of you, if you feel guided to be back.
Don't feel.
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah.
I know we've been everywhere tonight. It's been fun though. It's really casual, and I'm really appreciative of you being here, both of you. It's just wonderful to talk to you. I know you're both brilliant people, brilliant beings, both of you.
We went there and back again.
And we did. Now we're just kind of like decompressing and talking about the world as it implodes right before our eyes.
Which it is.
It's awesome time to be alive.
It is. You know what? You really are optimistic. So it is the best of times. It is the worst of times, as Spock said, right? Or was that Captain Kirk?
Well, it's all hands on deck right now.
Okay. Nobody's getting thrown off overboard?
No, as far as what's going on, it's all hands on deck. Whether you're, that's how I feel about this particular time frame.
Yeah.
Better get with it.
I agree. Yeah. And also making life, just enjoy life while you're here, while you can. That would be good too.
Exactly. Have fun. Enjoy yourself because, it could blow up tomorrow.
Well, the thing is, it's like we don't have these moments. They just leave so quickly. And I mentioned this, just moments in, hugging an animal or just anything, people, relationships. It's like they go so quickly. That's one thing I noticed, that it's important to just be in the moment, be in that energy, and it's never going to come back the same way.
I start every day. I start out in my own form of prayer and gratitude. Really, so happy for all the good things and beauty. Beauty rules my world. So I'm just constantly thankful. I'm thanking the water I drink. I'm, this is what makes you more conscious and in the moments and stopping.
Appreciation. Yeah, I agree with you.
Stop. Yep. And stand there for a minute, and it brings you into the now, into nowness.
Yeah, I think technology has kind of sped everything up to that level where people have to kind of take a step out of everything and reset their compass a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, it's part of how we learn to lucid dream too. You stop and say, I acknowledge this doorway or whatever, It's a conscious thing. It's an internal martial arts, as we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Yeah, stay in those sacred moments, no doubt. And if you have any, are you all going to write any books or anything? Have you been writing? I know you do the poetry, Niish, right? What about you, Jerry? Do you write too? Or no?
I have. I've written about 12 books. I don't write anymore.
You've pretty much burned out.
No, I explored that hobby to the maximum rather. I did that when I was a kid.
Is that right? So you call them hobbies then? They were just kind of hobbies for you?
Sure. It's not a career. What is it?
Okay. That makes sense. No doubt about that.
I'm not opposed to writing. I do keep a blog. I write things occasionally. But I'm not. I like to write, but I hate writing.
Yeah.
You know how it is. If you've written a book, you understand.
Well, the only time I write is when I know I need to get something out and it just streams. I have the data and I just go with it. But no, just to sit there and write just for what am I going to write about? No, that's not my style. Yeah. It has to be important. Otherwise, forget it.
Oh no, I don't mind.
Has to flow for me.
I have ideas for science fiction novels, things like that, based on conspiracy theories that I've researched in the last couple of years. That would be make interesting stories. Mm-hmm. So I've considered writing short stories out of them or what have you. But again, it's that thing. I don't feel like writing that. It's not that I can't come up with it. It's just it's very laborious. Yeah, well, do what makes you happy in the moment. That's the bottom line. Yes, and we are just about out of time here, so I want to thank both of you very much for joining me. It's been awesome to have you both, and take care of yourselves. Much love to both of you, and thank everybody for tuning in. Everybody in chat, you've done a fabulous job in there. I know a lot of people were talking in there. Special thank you to my wonderful producer and station owner, Tina Marie, who makes this incredible network happen. And stay tuned for The Grind only at KCOR Digital Radio Network. All right, everybody, I think we're ready to soar out of here. And thank you again. It's been wonderful to have you on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Solaris BlueRaven's Hyperspace.
Stand by.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
You've been listening to Hyperspace. Hosted by Solaris BlueRaven, where the truth is beamed to you at the speed of light. Live every Friday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on the KCOR Digital Radio Network. For more information on the host of Hyperspace, Solaris BlueRaven, please visit her website at nightshadowanomalydetectives.com. Hyperspace. Once thought a theoretical dimensional anomaly, now a tangible cosmic waveform to the truth. Hyperspace.
This is KCOR Las Vegas, home of the Digital Radio Network, broadcasting from a shack